If you feel stuck and you're not sure exactly where you're going in your career, you're not sure you even have a future that you're excited about pursuing, you've got to talk to a therapist. Now, the key is, do you want to talk to a mentor, a guide, a coach? It's a very interesting thing. How do you bring somebody into your life, and how do you make the decision to open yourself up and really allow them to influence the course, the unfolding of your future? My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Thanks for joining me on WowBiz TV. I'm talking to Val McPherson. Now, Val helps people who are stuck in their careers and in their lives make important choices and relax and flow into the future. Val McPherson, thanks for joining me. You're a mentor guide. How come people come to somebody like you instead of their parent or a relative, or for that matter, a psychotherapist? Why you in your particular category?
Well, I would hope that they would come to me hoping that there would be more objectivity in terms of what their problems are, what their opportunities are.
All right, so they need a good listener with an outside or an objective point of view. Is that right?
Listening is extremely important, especially at the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah. What kinds of questions do you love to ask somebody that when they answer them, you feel like, now I know what's going on here? What would be a couple of those kinds of questions that would be asked early in the process?
Well, a lot of people already have an idea of what the problems or the opportunities might be. I just try to ask those questions that will get them to really look a little deeper into what, to some degree, they're already realizing.
Do you want to ask stuff that's predictable and makes them comfortable, or do you want to kind of like jar them and ask them questions that kind of take them aback and cause a little shock? Which one of those two is the best strategy?
I think initially you go more with the comfort. You need to build that relationship. You need to build that trust. But you continue to need to challenge them as the relationship grows. And so there is always that increasing level of shock as you work through the relationship.
Because you probably realize they're kind of stuck in a certain mode of thinking, or they have a habit of the way they think about life. And so ultimately, once you've earned their trust, you have to ask them a question that kind of makes them question, right, their thinking pattern or their reaction pattern. Is that right?
Yes, you hear people talking about thinking outside the box all the time. I don't necessarily like that term, but I like to tell people to think outside of their own selves.
Yeah, because really, you unleash creativity in people. I mean, we have to feel a little more creative about our lives and our future in order to kind of move forward. Isn't that fundamental?
It's extremely fundamental, and unfortunately, a lot of people that I talk to have moved away from the creativity.
Really?
They may have initially been extremely creative and excited and motivated in terms of what they're doing, and that has, to some degree, been reduced.
Squashed.
And squashed is an excellent term, and I try to find some way to, over time, water that plant and let it grow and bloom again.
Yeah, so their lives can feel a little more fluid or a little more spontaneous, right? So they're kind of going with it. And how about unleashing intuition and listening to that? Do you find that that's an important part of kind of this rebirth or this revitalization process that you're a catalyst for?
As I mentioned before, the listening is really the most important part, especially at the beginning.
Yeah. Do people want you to give them the answer?
I'm sorry, but absolutely no.
No? They want to discover it themselves.
They really do.
Yeah.
They may think that they would like me to give them the answer, and,
yes,
and they can go on, and that would be the end of it.
Yes.
But it doesn't seem to work that way.
Interesting. Do unpredictable things happen as you help people move forward in this process? Or is it all pretty much predictable? You kind of know where you're going just about every time. It follows some kind of a predictable unfolding?
If it doesn't get unpredictable, I don't think I'm doing my job.
Ah, really? Very interesting.
I want them to surprise me, and I want to surprise them.
Well, I've just gained tremendous respect for you right there, Val. That's an incredible insight and an incredible admission. And what is the worst thing that can happen in this process? Let's say they're working with you for 6, 8, 10 weeks, and suddenly they just vanish and they don't show up anymore for meetings. What's happened if that happens?
There's probably a lot of reasons that might happen. I'm hoping that they really feel they've gotten to the place that they wanted to get in the beginning, and they're excited and they're ready to get to work.
Yeah, yeah. And do people tell you when they meet those people that came across this person, and he or she seems like a different person, or they're behaving or acting differently? Does that kind of thing happen?
Yes, sometimes people tell me that themselves. Sometimes their co-workers tell me that. Sometimes their friends, relatives. Sometimes people that I didn't know we had a connection with.
Val McPherson, you're a certified mentor coach with the Gallup organization. You help people get through these stuck periods and kind of come out of themselves and become and inherit what they really want to be and push towards some kind of vision that they didn't really get before they came across you. I think it's such an incredible career. It must be terribly fulfilling for you. How long have you been doing this?
I've had a relationship with the Gallup organization for over 10 years.
Okay.
And I have been specifically working with the Gallup organization on their specific entrepreneurial small and medium-sized business program since 2009.
Okay, so wrapping this thing up, you like to provide this kind of advice and support for just anybody, or budding entrepreneurs, or just any employee or senior executives? Who's an ideal profile for you as a client?
Anyone who still thinks that there's a need for entrepreneurism, and someone that I think that can benefit from helping me have them find their strengths, not worry about the things that they're not necessarily strong in, but let's find your strengths, let's maximize those. Let's maximize the strengths of the people around you.
Yes.
And let's take this thing to the next level.
Val McPherson, thank you so much for visiting with me. If you feel like your life is stuck, you have some qualities, some identity, some resources, some strengths that aren't coming out, you're not leveraging them, you're not really doing anything with what you personally have, you might want to visit with Val McPherson. He's a certified mentor coach. Thanks for watching me here on WowBiz TV. My name's Lynn Hinderaker.